Welcome back to another video from Not Only Trout. Today we're going to be tying up a pair of dubbing leeches with some new dubbing from Nature Spirit. It's the Disco Dub, which is an ice dub replacement. We're going to be tying it up in pale caddis and in purple, two of my favorite colors, especially when I'm fishing for bluegill. Let's go ahead and get started. In the vise, we have a Moonlit ML056 in size 12, and we have a 2.5 millimeter tungsten bead. With the pale caddis color, I'm going to use a silver tungsten bead, and I'll use a different color bead for the purple, just to mix and match a little bit. So what we'll do first, we'll just pull out a little chunk of dubbing, and we're just going to align the fibers a little bit by pulling it back and forth. And do that gently so it doesn't rip all the fibers in pieces. And then we're going to measure out our tail, so it's about one length. It doesn't really matter how exact you are at this point, because we're going to trim it down anyway in just a minute. So tie that down, and tie it all the way back to the curve of the hook. And the reason why I leave some of that in the front, so I don't have to measure it out as exact, is just fold it back over the top of itself. And tie that down. Now the reason why I'm not so worried about the overall length, because you can see that's a really long tail right now, is I fold this over the top, grab my scissors, and then go right past the edge of the jig hook and do a little snip. That helps keeps the tails pretty evenly set up. Next, what we'll do is we'll create a dubbing loop. So pull our thread down, wrap it around our fingertip, and then tie that thread off. Grab our dubbing spinning tool, just to keep that loop from going crazy. Throw in a half hitch to keep our thread from falling around, and put it off to the side. So grab some more of this pale caddis dubbing. And this we will break into smaller pieces because we don't really want the fibers to be super long at this point. So we're just going to pull and tear and align those fibers at the same time. And then when we have a decent amount, we'll go ahead, stick that in our loop. We have a pretty healthy amount. Let's spread that out just a little bit. And then we're going to spin that up. And brush that out just a little bit. Clear up any trapped fibers. And then we're going to spin that some more. And then we're just going to work our thread back to the back of the hook. That's why I left a little bit of a gap in the dubbing loop in the hook space, because I wasn't super concerned about where it was, because I was going to work my thread back. And now we're going to work that dubbed body back forward using the rotary feature on our vise. And wrap that up to right behind the bead. Grab your thread again. Do a catching wrap behind the dubbing loop. Do that twice. And trim that bad boy out of the way. And then what I do as an extra little step is take a small pinch of dubbing and create a super small little dubbing noodle. And then whip finish. This will allow it to not have any of the thread showing. 4 turns, pull down and tight. and trim that out. You can see I have a couple long straggling fibers. I just trimmed some of those long stragglers out. And that fly is finished. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing in purple, just for funsies. And this time we're using the gold bead like I mentioned on the same Moonlit 056 size 12 hook. I'm going to swap my thread to some purple. So both these threads are the Semperfli 6/0 Classic waxed. I feel like it does a good job of holding the dubbing in place. The first one I used was the chartreuse, and this one is purple, as I just mentioned. Snip off our tag end and go through the same process. About a hook length. So as we can see, we fold that back forward, trim it off, go back forward just a smidge, create our dubbing loop, pull our thread out of the way, grab some more dubbing, and break it up into pieces again. Spin up that loop. Brush things out a little bit. And then work our thread back to the back. Sorry, I didn't mean to move my vise there. And then do some touching wraps and wrap this dubbing loop forward. Then tie that off. Trim that clean. Grab a small pinch of dub again. And then whip finish that into place. 2, 3, 4. And then brush that out real quick. And there we go. We have our Disco Dub Leech in size 12. These are a bluegill's favorite. At least that's what my local waters have been telling me. Hope you have a great day. Hope you tie some up. As always, if you had a moment to watch the video, please give it a like and a subscribe. That really helps us out. And also, if you have any questions or concerns, want to figure out how to tie this fly, want a more in-depth tutorial, please reach out to me directly. and the description for all the products is in the bio, or in the description. The links for all the products are in the description of the YouTube video. Hope you have a great day. Thank you much. Bye-bye.